Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the myhappyassets.com workshop. And tonight we'll be talking about cash flow, the game of cash flow and assets, which is the Robert Kiyosaki game. So, and here's our websites: myhappyassets.com and smallbizcoffee.com. You can find some great information there. And skip on down here, and this is kind of what I'm going to cover real briefly, but the picture of cash flow and assets, the different class behaviors, definitions, and examples of assets, and as it relates to business, what it means to build a business system, the 4 quadrants of earners, the game, and then I'll probably give you guys the opportunity to send me questions. And here is the picture of cash flow and assets, and this is Robert Kiyosaki's version from Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's a great book. I'll put that in the resources. I'm going to have a lot of homework. But essentially you see a pictorial representation of your financial statements, your income statement, and your balance sheet. You've got to understand those if you're going to be successful in business or investing. And this is what it means to be financially independent. So essentially you have, let me get rid of this, you have income coming in from your asset column that's greater than or equal to your expenses. This ellipse represents financial independence. So you spend your time building assets in order to reach financial independence. This is the spending pattern of the poor class. So income comes in the door and it goes out the expense column. What that means is they spend their time on expenses, or there's eating out, or it's not liability expenses, it's not debt that's sucking the income out the door. It'd be expenses such as like I said, eating out or purchasing that's not on credit, or you name it, entertainment, or just whatever you can think of as an expense. It goes out the door before they're able to do anything with it. This is the spending pattern of the middle class. This is where most people are. And you can see what's happening in this pattern is the liabilities are feeding the expense column, and then the income is hitting that and going out the door. So the example of liabilities would be, say, 10 jet skis on credit cards, or a plasma screen TV on credit, or mortgages, loans, bad debt. This is the spending pattern of the rich, and it says rich, but you can think of it as freedom, independence, the time, the freedom to fulfill your passions, or to give money away, to give to charitable organizations, to spend your time with family, to spend time in a hobby, and choosing to do with what you want with your time. It equals freedom. So it doesn't necessarily mean rich, as base stuff equal to money. That it means a lot of things. It means financial freedom. It means choices. So again, the rich spend their time building assets which generate cash flow into their income column, and this ellipse represents financial independence or financial freedom, when your income is greater than or equal to your expenses, the income from your asset column. And here's some definition examples of those assets that would fit into that asset column. So it puts money into your pocket on relatively a short-term basis, monthly or quarterly. The reason why I say short-term is because you could consider investing in a stock and the stock going up and then you cashing out. Now that's technically a capital gain, but some people would consider that, well, that's cash flow if I invest in a stock for 5 years and then cash out at the end of that. But you really, think about it. If you're going to retire tomorrow, you're going to have money on a monthly basis that pays the bills. It should be relatively passive income, because otherwise how can you retire? And I know that can sound like pie in the sky, but you'll see, some of these assets can be passive, basically. It doesn't require your presence in order for it to continue to generate cash flow, and thus it is a system. So here's some specific examples. You can see why this is passive. Cash flowing rental property, where you have property management. Dividend paying stocks, you invest in the stock, it pays, say, a 7% yield a year, that delivers income into your income column. Covered call options, you own 100 shares of stock, you write a covered call against it, and you get paid the premium. That's cash flow, relatively small amount of time into it. Or a business system. And I'll go into what a business system is, because that's the crux of our whole presentation. Build systems, not buckets. Michael Gerber, in his book, there's part of your homework right there, the E-Myth Revisited, details how to build a business system that doesn't necessarily require your presence. The problem with most business owners is that they work in the business and not on it. So it's always a one-to-one relationship, meaning, you're doing everything yourself, or most of the things yourself, and then you have to be at the counter to run it. And if you go on vacation, you hang that sign on the door that says, "Owner is going on vacation, will be open in a week." So in his book, he details how to systematize a business. He makes the basis of his argument is that, well, while 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 5 years, 75% of franchises succeed. Not that you have to buy a franchise, although you do get that operations manual, but treat your business as if you're going to build 1,000 of them. Even if you're going to build one, if you were going to make 1,000, you would look at it a lot differently. You define things, and that leads to what he calls a franchise prototype manual for your business. You're laying out the structure and the framework for your business. And these are the 4 quadrants of earners. And when we talk about systematizing a business, we're talking about being over here in the B quadrant. So we have an employee, Johnny Paycheck. We have self-employed. We have a business owner. And we have an investor. An employee gets a paycheck. They get taxed off the top. There's nothing you can do about it. And even if you're a great budgeter and you watch all your expenses, you don't eat out 7 nights a week, your biggest expense is going to be taxes, and there's really not anything you can do about it over here. Self-employed, they can get some tax breaks, but this also stands for specialist or sole proprietorship. These people, they do it on their own. They don't have a team, and a lot of the leverage is just 1-to-1, the ratio. So what that means is they're working in the business instead of on it. A business owner builds more of a system. They have people that work for them. In theory, they could step away from the business and come back in a year and be in better shape than when they left it. An investor would be an example of an investor would be a real estate investor or stock investor where their money works for them. And then when it comes to taxes, you got to keep in mind that earned income people, at the end of the day, their taxes can cut half of their income, 50%. Portfolio income, where you realize capital gains or dividend income, is at 20%, and passive income can be at 0. So keep in mind, so somebody generating $50,000 a year in the earned income column, it only takes someone in the passive income column $25,000 to match that because of the tax breaks that are here. And those largely come from the right side of the quadrant and the B and I side. And the benefits of a business: earn an income, you spend, and then you're taxed on what's left over. Now just a little screenshot of the game of cash flow. Again, this is Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game. I highly recommend it. I'm not giving away any of the secrets. I don't get any commissions off of it. I just fell in love with it. But here's just a quick screenshot of that, and just to show you what it'll do for you. I kind of think of it as a business/investor simulator. You can make your mistakes virtually before you make them in real life. You roll the dice, you land on a square, and you can buy an investment opportunity. And if you do buy it, you have to drag it into the correct spots in the income statement and the balance sheet. And so you'll learn through this game how to build that passive cash flow that'll make you financially independent. So I'd recommend checking that out. Go to richdad.com. Again, the key thing here is passive cash flow that leads to financial independence. That's the goal that I'm prescribing. That's the goal that Robert Kiyosaki prescribes. So you focus on your asset column, including your business, build up enough assets that deliver that income that meet or exceed your expenses, and then you are financially independent. You have the option to work or not. You have the option to give money away. You have the option to spend time with family, to spend time in your passions and hobbies. Here's the homework: Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, Success Principles by Jack Canfield, and of course myhappyassets.com and smallbizcoffee.com. So thank you all very much. This is a brief overview of the game of passive cash flow and assets and how it relates to your business. And check out myhappyassets.com and smallbizcoffee.com.